Into the mists of the American frontier emerges a tale of unrivaled power and fierce determination. Before the railways carved through the plains, before the first settlements dotted the Texas landscape, one nation ruled these lands with legendary prowess. Their name alone could make the bravest warriors pause: the Comanche. What transformed a small band of hunters into the most feared warriors of the American West? How did they build an empire that would challenge both ancient rivals and modern armies? Join us as we unravel the extraordinary saga of the Comanche Nation, a story of conquest, adaptation, and endurance that changed the face of North America forever. In the vast tapestry of Native American history, the Comanche tribe emerges as an extraordinary force, their legacy carved deep into the annals of the American frontier. Rising from the windswept expanses of the southern plains, they earned an unparalleled reputation as North America's most formidable warriors. Their mere name striking fear and commanding respect across the territories they dominated. This fearsome reputation wasn't merely handed to them. It was earned through a masterful combination of superior horsemanship, revolutionary combat strategies, and an indomitable warrior spirit that became their hallmark. The geographic reach of their influence was staggering. At their height, the Comanche Nation controlled an immense territory that modern maps would recognize as spanning across north-central Texas, pushing into the rugged landscapes of eastern New Mexico, extending northward into southeastern Colorado and southwestern Kansas, spreading across western Oklahoma, and reaching southward into the northern regions of Chihuahua, Mexico. This vast expanse, which they defended with unwavering determination, became known as the Comanche Empire, a testament to their territorial dominance and military prowess. The origins of this powerful nation trace back to a pivotal period in the early 1500s when they existed as part of the Eastern Shoshone tribe. Their ancestral homeland lay near the upper reaches of the Platte River in eastern Wyoming, a dramatically different environment from the plains they would later dominate. The arrival of European settlers marked a turning point in their history, catalyzing a transformation that would reshape the power dynamics of the American frontier. This encounter with European civilization didn't diminish their strength. Instead, it sparked an evolution in their culture and military capabilities that would establish them as one of the most powerful Native American nations in recorded history. Their story is not just a chronicle of warfare and conquest, but a testament to human adaptation, resilience, and the capacity to transform challenges into opportunities for advancement. The Comanche's mastery of their environment and their ability to incorporate new technologies and techniques into their traditional ways of life set them apart as innovators among the Plains tribes. The acquisition of horses marked a pivotal transformation in Comanche history, catalyzing a series of events that would reshape the American frontier. Through strategic trading relationships, the Comanche obtained these crucial animals, leading to their momentous split from the Shoshone people. This separation initiated a period of remarkable growth, with their numbers swelling to an estimated 10,000 members, a significant force in the Plains landscape. Their southward migration was methodical and strategic. Initially establishing themselves in the Central Plains, the Comanche continued their expansion southward, ultimately claiming a vast territory that extended from the Arkansas River to the heart of central Texas. During this period of migration, their population experienced an unprecedented surge, driven by three distinct factors: the abundant buffalo herds that provided sustenance and economic resources, the continuous integration of Shoshone individuals who joined their ranks, and a systematic practice of capturing women and children from rival tribes and Mexican settlements. The scale of their captive-taking practices was substantial, with historical records suggesting approximately 20,000 individuals were taken during this period. The dark reality of captivity under Comanche control was marked by severe treatment, with captives relegated to the status of property rather than persons. These individuals endured both physical and psychological abuse throughout their captivity, facing a grim existence that often ended either in death or, for the fortunate few, eventual release. Despite their considerable size and influence, the Comanche social structure remained decentralized. comprising 8 to 12 distinct autonomous groups. This organizational pattern reflected a complex balance between independence and interconnection. These bands maintained their individual autonomy while sharing fundamental cultural elements and linguistic ties. The relationship between these groups was dynamic. Periods of internal strife alternated with times of collaborative effort and peaceful cooperation. This unique social structure, while potentially limiting their unified political power, also provided flexibility and resilience that contributed to their long-term survival and dominance in the region. This decentralized structure would prove both a strength and weakness in their interactions with European settlers and other Native American tribes, allowing for adaptive responses to challenges, while sometimes hindering coordinated action against external threats. In understanding the Comanche identity, it's crucial to begin with their self-designation, Numunu, a name that translates to the human beings or simply the people. This self-chosen identity reveals a fundamental aspect of their cultural consciousness and worldview. The more commonly known name, Comanche, emerged through a complex historical and linguistic journey, first documented in Spanish colonial records from 1706. This initial recorded mention came during a period of tension, as Spanish officials reported the tribe's preparation for an assault on Pueblo settlements in southern Colorado. The Spanish appropriated and adapted the Ute people's term for the Comanche, Comanche, meaning enemy, adapting it to fit Spanish linguistic patterns. The evolution of their naming didn't stop there. French explorers, approaching from the Eastern Territories before 1740, introduced another layer of complexity by occasionally referring to the Comanche as Paducah, a term already in use for the Plains Apache. This linguistic overlap highlights the complex web of interactions and identifications among Native American groups and European colonizers during this period. The Comanche language itself provides crucial evidence of their historical connections, belonging to the broader Uto-Aztecan language family and maintaining close linguistic ties to their Shoshone ancestors, reflecting their origins and migration patterns. Perhaps no single development had a more transformative impact on Comanche society than their mastery of horsemanship. Historical evidence suggests they were the pioneers of equestrian culture among the Plains Indians, fundamentally altering their way of life. Prior to acquiring horses, the Comanche followed a traditional nomadic hunter-gatherer lifestyle, moving with the seasons and available resources. However, the introduction of horses catalyzed a dramatic shift in their cultural and economic practices, enabling them to develop more assertive and mobile hunting strategies. Their expertise with horses extended far beyond mere transportation or hunting efficiency. The Comanche developed sophisticated breeding programs, established extensive trading networks, and demonstrated remarkable skill in acquiring horses through various means, including raids on other tribes and settlements. This mastery of equestrian culture elevated them to unprecedented levels of efficiency in buffalo hunting, earning them recognition as the most skilled hunters across the plains. The horse became so deeply integrated into Comanche society that it transformed not only their economic and military capabilities, but also their entire cultural identity, social structure, and way of life. This profound integration of equestrian culture would become a defining characteristic of Comanche civilization, setting them apart from other Plains tribes and contributing significantly to their regional dominance. Warfare was not merely an aspect of Comanche society, it was fundamental to their cultural identity and economic system, shaping their relationships with neighboring tribes and eventual colonial powers. The Comanche developed a sophisticated military strategy that centered on strategic raiding, with the Apache tribe becoming one of their primary adversaries. These raids were more than simple acts of aggression. They formed part of a complex economic system where theft and subsequent ransom became a standardized practice. Their victims, recognizing the futility of military retaliation against such skilled warriors, often chose to negotiate and repurchase their stolen property rather than risk further conflict. The 1800s marked a significant evolution in Comanche raiding practices as they adapted to new opportunities presented by Western expansion. With the arrival of Texas settlers and their vast cattle herds, The Comanche expanded their raiding economy to include livestock theft, establishing profitable trade routes to New Mexico, where they could resell the stolen cattle. This adaptation demonstrated their remarkable ability to incorporate new economic opportunities into their existing cultural framework. The period was characterized by escalating tensions on multiple fronts. The Comanche found themselves engaged in simultaneous conflicts with Mexican forces, white settlers, and various plains tribes, creating a complex web of alliances and animosities. The Spanish authorities, in their attempt to curtail Apache raids, sought alliance with the Comanche, but these diplomatic efforts ultimately proved unsuccessful. The resulting power vacuum, created by the Apaches' forced displacement from the southern plains by the 1800s, allowed the Comanche to consolidate their control over a vast territory encompassing the Texas Panhandle, western Oklahoma, and northeastern New Mexico. Their mastery of horsemanship evolved beyond warfare into a sophisticated trading enterprise. The Comanche's reputation for breeding and training superior horses led to them becoming major suppliers to both French and American traders, establishing them as key players in the frontier economy. This commercial success added another dimension to their regional influence, complementing their military dominance. Historical perspectives on the Comanche's aggressive territorial defense remain a subject of scholarly debate. While some historians emphasize their fierce reputation, others argue that their actions must be understood within the context of territorial sovereignty, viewing their aggressive response to encroachment as a legitimate defense of their homeland rather than arbitrary violence. This interpretation gained particular relevance during the California Gold Rush, when the Comanche mounted aggressive campaigns against settlers traversing their territory. These attacks, while viewed as hostile by westward-moving settlers, represented a calculated response to territorial incursion from the Comanche perspective. The complexity of this period reveals the Comanche's remarkable ability to adapt their warrior culture to changing circumstances while maintaining their territorial integrity. Their strategic combination of warfare, trade, and territorial defense established them as one of the most influential forces in the American Southwest, fundamentally shaping the region's development during the crucial period of westward expansion. The impact of Comanche raids on frontier settlers manifested in two distinct patterns. While loss of life occurred, the predominant outcome was the systematic theft of livestock and horses, a calculated strategy that prioritized economic gain over violence. However, this period of Comanche dominance faced an insurmountable enemy that no military prowess could overcome: the devastating sweep of infectious diseases. The combination of smallpox and cholera epidemics proved catastrophic, decimating their population from its peak to approximately 6,000 individuals by the 1870s, fundamentally undermining their ability to maintain their traditional way of life and territorial control. The 1860s marked a pivotal transition in Comanche history as the United States government initiated systematic efforts to confine them to reservation lands in Indian Territory in what would later become Oklahoma. The Treaty of Medicine Lodge in 1867 represented a complex compromise. In exchange for relinquishing control over their vast traditional territories, the Comanche were promised a reservation spanning more than 60,000 square miles, along with provisions for churches, schools, and annual financial support. Crucially, the treaty included a significant environmental protection clause, the government's pledge to halt the widespread slaughter of buffalo herds that were vital to Plains Indians' survival. This agreement wasn't exclusive to the Comanche, but encompassed other Plains tribes including the Apache, Kiowa, Cheyenne, and Arapaho, all of whom faced similar pressure to relocate. The treaty's implementation, however, revealed the stark disparity between promise and practice. The government's failure to prevent continued buffalo hunting became a flashpoint for conflict, culminating in a significant act of resistance in 1874. Under the leadership of Chief White Eagle, the Comanche launched a retaliatory attack against hunters in the Texas Panhandle, an event that would become known as the Second Battle of Adobe Walls. This confrontation proved to be a turning point, but not in the way the Comanche had hoped. The battle ended in a decisive defeat for the Comanche forces, leading to intensified military pressure that ultimately forced the remaining tribal members onto reservation lands. The process of land reduction continued well into the late 19th century. The Jerome Agreement of 1892 represented another significant diminishment of Comanche sovereignty, negotiated jointly with the Kiowa and Apache tribes. This agreement drastically reduced their territory to 480,000 acres, less than 1% of their original domain. The implementation of individual 168-acre allotments represented not just a reduction in land, but a fundamental shift away from traditional communal land use to an imposed system of individual property ownership, reflecting the government's broader policy of forced assimilation. This series of events, from disease epidemics to treaties and forced relocations, represents more than just a military defeat or territorial loss. It marks the systematic dismantling of a way of life that had dominated the Southern Plains for generations. The transition from a vast, fluid territory to increasingly confined reservation lands fundamentally altered not just the physical boundaries of Comanche existence, but the very fabric of their society, economy, and cultural practices. The dramatic reduction in both population and territory within just a few decades stands as a stark testament to the devastating impact of Western expansion and federal Indian policy on one of North America's most powerful indigenous nations. In the modern era, the Comanche Nation has emerged as a vibrant and resilient community, maintaining its cultural heritage while adapting to contemporary challenges. With approximately 10,000 enrolled members, the nation's population has rebounded significantly from its historical low point. While Oklahoma remains the heart of Comanche territory, hosting roughly half the nation's population, significant communities have established themselves across Texas, California, and New Mexico, creating a dispersed but interconnected network of Comanche people. The cultural cornerstone of contemporary Comanche life manifests most prominently in the annual powwow held in Lawton, Oklahoma. This gathering serves as more than just a celebration. It represents a vital connection to traditional practices and provides an essential platform for community reunification. Comanche families from across the United States converge at this event, strengthening bonds and passing down cultural knowledge to younger generations through dance, music, storytelling, and shared experiences. The nation has developed a sophisticated governmental and economic infrastructure to serve its members' needs. The tribal administration manages several key institutions, including a housing authority that addresses residential needs, and a vehicle registration system that asserts tribal sovereignty through the issuance of distinctive tribal tags. Their Department of Higher Education plays a crucial role in advancing educational opportunities, focusing on providing scholarships and financial assistance to tribal members pursuing college degrees, thereby investing in the community's future leadership and professional development. Economic development initiatives have become a cornerstone of modern Comanche self-sufficiency. The nation operates a network of 10 tribal smoke shops and 4 significant gaming establishments: the flagship Comanche Nation Casino in Lawton, the Red River Casino in Duval, the Comanche Spur Casino in Elgin, and the Comanche Star Casino in Walters, all located within Oklahoma. These enterprises generate essential revenue for tribal programs and services while providing employment opportunities for tribal members and contributing to the local economy. Cultural preservation and education remain paramount priorities for the nation. The Comanche National Museum and Cultural Center, established in Lawton and opened to the public in 2007, serves as a vital repository of tribal history and cultural artifacts. Through its permanent collections and rotating exhibitions, the museum plays a crucial role in educating both tribal members and the general public about Comanche history, traditions, and contemporary life. The nation's commitment to higher education was demonstrated in 2002 with the ambitious establishment of Comanche Nation College in Lawton, a 2-year tribal institution designed to provide culturally relevant education to tribal members. However, the closure of this institution in 2017 due to accreditation challenges and funding issues, illustrates the ongoing challenges faced by tribal nations in maintaining independent educational institutions. This setback, while significant, has not diminished the nation's commitment to educational advancement, as evidenced by their continued support of higher education through scholarships and other programs. Today's Comanche Nation stands as a testament to cultural resilience and adaptive capacity, successfully balancing traditional values with modern governance and economic development. While facing ongoing challenges common to many Native American nations, the Comanche continue to build upon their rich heritage while forging new paths forward in the 21st century. From ancient warriors of the plains to modern guardians of tradition, the Comanche story continues to unfold. Their journey from dominance to near destruction and ultimately to renewal stands as a testament to the enduring spirit of a people who refuse to fade into history. But there are more untold stories waiting to be discovered, tales of courage, resilience, and transformation that shaped the American frontier. What other secrets lie buried in the rich soil of Native American history? Join us on this journey of discovery. Subscribe and hit the notification bell to explore more fascinating chapters of America's forgotten past.